Let me introduce you all to Shann Bosnell of Brown Bag Coffee Roasters in Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. A very open guy, a very sharing guy, a serial entrepreneur. I think you're going to learn a lot from our first Ask Me Anything.
My wife and I had been home roasting for a number of years, and then the opportunity to kind of take that from a home hobby into something more like a business is what we jumped on. We did start it really as like a lifestyle business, operating out of a very small location with sauna fresco roasters, and then it kind of took on a life of its own and brought us up to where we are today.
And before the sauna frescos, you had experience with even other home roasters along the way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of ran the gambit. We started with popcorn poppers, like kind of everybody does, to Baymores, to kind of everything in between, hot tops, etc. And then my first sort of fluid bed roaster was a 2-pound sauna fresco that I had set up in our sunroom at our home.
That's good. So it seems like your vision has evolved over time.
Yeah, I mean, when I started the business originally back in 2020, I guess it was, 2019, 2017, it's been a while now. When we started it, again, it was really more just like a home business, kind of get me out of the house. We got a little facility, like 600 square feet, and set up the 4 sauna fresco roasters. And I had my daughter coming in who was in school only in the mornings, and she'd roast in the afternoons. And I had a couch set up with my Xbox and kind of just like spend time roasting and talking coffee. But we weren't really doing direct-to-consumer stuff. It was really more focused on wholesale. So I had a couple of wholesale clients right away, and we really focused on making them happy, really exploring the type of coffees that we could create within Sauna Fresco, creating profiles within the ADR software, and then making sure we were just creating nice coffee that we could get out to the few wholesale partners we had. And then that kind of snowballed a little bit, and I had a customer of ours who, in this small little location, not much bigger than my office is today, who came in and opened the door as I was playing Xbox and asked if he could buy a bag of coffee. And that was really the first time I had sold a bag of coffee directly to a customer, and I was like, sure, why not?
It seems like a lot of the directions that you've gone have kind of happened not so much from strategy or planning, but just an opportunity presenting itself, and then you deciding, hey, we could do more of this.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I mean, kind of fell into the coffee roasting business just the way it was. Like the story I kind of tell people is, I was a home roaster with my wife Dana, and then it was basically her saying you should just do this as a living. And at that point, it didn't even occur to me that coffee roasting was a job. Of course it is, but it didn't occur to me that it was. And that was kind of like, okay, well, let's explore this. And it took us about 3 months from the moment that sort of that conversation happened to us opening the first small little roastery. And then, yeah, my goal was really just to be B2B. I was really, my background in IT, I was used to doing business to business sales and support around that. So selling directly to consumer wasn't that comfortable to me out of the gate. But when customers started to ask for it, it did kind of open up the door for me to say, that's a direction I got to try to go after. And then, of course, COVID forced the hand a lot more, closing down all of the cafes and restaurants.
So fast forward to today, when we're seeing you roast on a Civets quarter bag machine that you say actually can roast more than what they say it can roast. So what are your plans for the Civets? How did you grow your business enough to justify that purchase?
Yeah, I mean, we started to talk to Michael and the Civets crew. Would have been over a year ago now. I think we started talking to him in October of 2022. At that point, we were roasting on a Coffee Crafters XE Deluxe, and we had moved out of our very first location with the 4 sauna frescoes, moved into a 1,400 square foot location with a tasting bar and a roastery, and then upgraded at that point to a Coffee Crafters XE Deluxe. And we ran on that for a year and a half, I would say, where we ran through basically all of COVID on that machine. During COVID, we did a lot of changes to our business. We were doing direct wholesale only before COVID. Basically, we had a couple of customers who would come in. We had a bit of a website, but really it was mostly wholesale. And then COVID happened. All of the cafes and restaurants got shut down, so we did a direct-to-consumer model. I went out and bought a Ford Transit delivery vehicle, and we started to do what I termed better than Amazon delivery, where if you ordered within before noon, same day, Monday to Friday, you get your coffee that afternoon if you were within 20 kilometers of our roastery. So that worked out really, really well for us. We did some changes to our website, offered subscription service, and really were able to ensure that my team stayed employed throughout all of COVID. We didn't take any government incentives. We just made the business stand on its own 2 feet, made sure everybody was paid, and we were able to keep going. So, coming out of COVID, we saw all of our wholesale partners who were able to make it through the COVID shutdown return to us. So we had all of this direct-to-consumer business that we had brought on during COVID, and then suddenly we had this, all these wholesale partners were returning to us. So we went immediately from making it on the Coffee Crafters XE Deluxe to all of a sudden having to roast 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, just to keep up with everybody returning. So it became real clear to me at that point that we couldn't do that for long. So the other part of that, though, unfortunately, our facility itself was also becoming too small. So we had moved from what the original location was like 650 square feet to 1,400 square feet. And when I started to talk to the different fluid bed manufacturers on the different machines and getting the specs and the sizes, I also had to start looking for a new facility. So we find ourselves in the new facility now, which is a total of 4,000 square feet, and then set up the Civets SRM15. I had looked at a few different options of that, including Typhoon, Stronghold, a couple other roasters that were out there, but for me, in the conversations I had with Michael and just looking at what we had available to us, the Civets made the most sense. And I say that it can overdo what is advertised. I mean, we did a video with Michael showing that I did 6 33-pound roasts in a 1-hour period of a lighter roasted coffee. But just based on that, for sure you can do more than what is advertised. And just the setup of the machine itself, we do 33-pound loads, but you could easily get away with 36 or 37 pounds based on the hardware that's there. Brown bag, the name, as you can see here in the logo, was, it looks like a brown paper bag. And the inception behind that was kind of twofold. The first thing is, I really got into third wave coffee. I really wanted to explore what third wave kind of brought out. I was attracted by the sustainability approach, the focusing on the flavor profiles that you can create within third wave, etc. When I started to look around the city, specifically where I am, I didn't. I drive a motorbike. I drive a Harley, and when I went to these different cafes, a lot of them didn't really appeal to me, sort of as that sort of blue collar style work ethic. It was kind of more of like a more hipster, for lack of a better word, but more of that sort of style. And I just didn't really fit into that type of cafe. So when I started to look at the different ways I wanted to approach coffee, I wanted it to be more approachable. And what I mean by approachable is not only the type of cafes that we're putting out there, but also the type of coffee that we're roasting. We traditionally roast more of like a light medium roast. We don't really do super dark coffees. We don't do super light coffees. And the goal is to try to focus on the flavor profiles that these coffees can bring out, roast them the best of our ability, but also not try to make a coffee that everybody can't enjoy. Like I do like a beautiful, natural, lightly roasted berry or fruit forward style coffee, but not every day. I see that as more like a dessert coffee. It's great to have, but it's not something I want to drink and explore all the time. So when I wanted to look at our coffee, I wanted to make it more approachable. So everything about Brown Bag, the idea was to be more approachable. So down from the style of coffee roasting that we're doing, to our cafes themselves to being incredibly approachable, even to our price point. And all of the things that we're doing is to try to make third wave more approachable for people. And I think we're very solid in that approach and the way that we're doing that. and you know, that sort of blue collar mentality, hardworking, you know, a really good cup of coffee. You know, we're trying to take people who maybe are used to getting supermarket coffee or Starbucks or something, but want to explore a better coffee, and we want to be sort of their gateway drug, I would say, to third wave coffee. They may go on to try other coffees or fourth wave style Nordic roast from somebody else, but if we can get them involved in coffee in a better and a bigger way, then I think we've done our job.